Welcome to the first part of this course. In this section, I'll introduce you to the cloud and cloud computing. This won't be hands-on session, it's mostly theory, but it's an important foundation. By the end, you will understand why cloud is useful and how it actually works. Let's start with basics. How does website actually work? A website is hosted on server somewhere around the world. Now server is just another computer with website hosted. You sitting at your computer or phone are the client. When you type in a website address, your browser connects to that server through the network, the internet. The client sends a request and server replies with a response. And then you see website on your screen. For this to happen, both server and client need something called IP address. Think of this like digital home address. With an IP address, your request knows exactly where to go and server knows how to find its way back to you. This process is very similar to sending a letter in the mail. You as a client write a letter, that letter is your data. You put it in a mailbox which is like the network. The post office reads the address you wrote and route your letter to the right destination, which in this case is the server. When your friend receives the letter, they can reply using a written address you wrote. The reply travels back through the same postal system and eventually you get it in your mailbox. The internet works in almost the same way. So, what is inside a server? A server has a CPU which does the actual calculations. You can think of it as the part that does the thinking. Then it has a RAM, which is memory. This memory is extremely fast and it stores information temporarily, so it can be retrieved quickly. Together, CPU and RAM acts a lot like human brain. The CPU is doing the thinking while the memory is holding on to the details that are needed in the moment. But server also need more than just short-term memory. They have storage for keeping data long-term, things like files, applications, or documents. And if we want to organize that data in a way that's easy to search, we use a database. Finally, servers handle networking as well. They connect with routers, switches, and DNS servers, all of which make sure data moves to the right place. Don't worry if these terms sounds new, we'll cover them later in this course. So, a server is basically made of computing power, memory, storage, and networking. And these are exactly the things that the cloud provides us on demand. Before we move further, let's quickly define few IT terms. A network is simply a collection of cables, routers, and servers that are all connected together. A router is a device that forwards data across the internet, kind of a delivery van that knows which route to take. When data reaches its destination, a switch makes sure it goes to the correct computer on the network. So the flow looks like this. The client sends data, the router finds its way across the internet, and the switch directs it to the right machine. Now let's talk about traditional IT. What people used to do before the cloud. Back then, if someone wanted to run a website, they would go out and buy a physical server, set it up in their home or garage, and run the website from there. Google itself is famously started in garage this way. As the website grew, they needed more and more server. Eventually, companies moved into the office or a dedicated entire rooms called data centers. just to hold the servers. This worked for many years, but it also came with a lot of problems. Running your own server is expensive. You have to pay rent, electricity, cooling system, and maintenance. Server also break down sometimes, so you need staff to look after them. Scaling is another problem. If your traffic suddenly goes 10 times, you need 10 times more server. But ordering, installing, and configuring them takes time and space. And then there are risks. What if there is power cut, or fire, or even earthquake? Your entire infrastructure could go down. So can all these challenges be solved? The answer is yes. And that's where the cloud comes in. Cloud takes care of server, storage, network, and scaling for you. Instead of managing everything on your own, you can simply use what you need when you need it. Now that we have covered the basics of servers and traditional IT, in the next lecture we will take one step further and explore the different type of cloud computing. If you have found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe so you don't miss out the upcoming lessons.